Yo, welcome to the Random Show. I am Marcus L-Spade Johnson, a.k.a. DJ L-Spade, a.k.a. that guy. Along with always my homie, my ace, Boom Coon, Big Sexy, Swole Supreme, Black Tarzan. I don't know how you got that to stick, but Black Tarzan.
Yeah.
Dr. Green Thumb.
Yeah.
My homie, Alex Lex Caliber Hunter. And recently, the new Kendrick Lamar album dropped. We have gave it a few listens, and look, this is our first time reviewing this, and undoubtedly me, because I do a review show on different other channels, this ain't gonna be the last time I talk about this, but this is the first time I'm talking about this. So,
Church.
Forgive us if we stumble through our thoughts as we talk about this Kendrick Lamar album. Now, you want me to start off, or you want to start it off?
You go ahead, Mark.
Kendrick Lamar fans or listeners fall into two specific camps. Those who think To Pimp a Butterfly is his greatest work ever, and those of us who don't, right? Now, with this album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he tried to bridge the gap between the two audiences. It's like a good mix between Damn and To Pimp a Butterfly, right? Whereas To Pimp a Butterfly was more high artsy, jazzy, improvisational in its musicality. Damn was like mainly slappers. They gave you that thunder while also having a message. That's why he won the Pulitzer Prize, right? This album, if you are a To Pimp a Butterfly fan, you probably won't think this is, where it's not bad, you probably won't think it's one of his best works ever. Now, crazy. I personally think this is the second best album he ever put out. And I will go into my reasons now.
What would you say is his best album?
His best album is Damn.
Okay.
Like, for me. The John had number slappers on that John, man. Like, yo, every song was a slappity bapper. Like, smack you in the face. But this one right here shows how a rapper ages and his content ages with him. Like, the whole theme of the album is therapy and self-look and introspection, right? He has always been put on that pedestal as like one of the elitist rappers who are good. But on this album, he broke it down like, look, what he said, I like it when they're pro-black, but I'm more Kodak Black, which was a apropos like comparison, because Kodak Black is the guy we look at hip-hop as an idiot. Right?
Yeah, just some dirty.
Yes, just uncouth.
Yeah, uneducated.
Savage,
yeah.
But by the way, Kodak Black did a pretty good job on this album.
2 times.
Yeah, I mean.
2 times.
But him trying to level out, like, look, don't put me on a pedestal. Look at how you see me is probably not how I see myself. And I feel like I'm talking too much, so I'm going to let you have it.
Well, first point I want to address is I'm a big fan of To Pimp a Butterfly, as you know.
Yes.
But where I disagree is I think this is one of his best works.
You asshole.
I think we're not as different as you thought we were, because you think that the Pimp a Butterfly fans wouldn't like this one as much. But I like this one at least as much. I needed to give it some more time to simmer and marinate.
Good point, too, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to give this like 3 listens to actually form my opinion.
Right. But I love the album, and I think it's his most his like deepest album, like emotional depth wise.
This is
to
probably
date.
like his 444, because Kendrick is not a young rapper anymore.
Nah.
You gotta think about it. He came in with Crit and J. Cole. Like, that was like his freshman class. So it's been some years. Like, this is an established artist who have done, like, dude won a Pulitzer Prize for his rap, bro. Like, that is And do you remember when the white folks had a problem with that? On Fox News?
I wasn't watching the news.
It was a kerfuffle. And this album, he tries to like say that, yo, you guys putting me up there is not like how I see myself, or don't put too much stock in that because I can fall too. Because he rails against cancel culture. He talks about that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
On the first song, he talks about, second song, N95, he talks about cancel culture, right? But the way he puts it out and he lays it out is more like, look, you guys are making me this high thing. So if I slip, don't come back around to me and be like, yo, How did you let me down, Kendrick? I never told you to put me up there.
Right.
And that's how he's leveling it out. Like,
Yeah.
they ain't really no slappers on this album, but like in '95, that's like the closest one to a slappity bapper, and that has a lot of content that you can chew on.
Yeah. And he talks about a lot of like really pertinent issues, not just pertaining to the black community. He talks. There's the transgender song.
Yeah,
when he
Auntie
says,
Diaries.
Auntie Diaries. When he's like, what is it? My auntie is
the man now.
The man. Yeah, and it's a look at how it affected him at the time.
That song actually had a lot of layers in it too, because he actually goes through the whole thinking process.
Yeah.
And like this whole album, and I'm going to touch on my favorite song, which is Father Time.
Me too.
Like, that's my favorite
Me
song.
too.
But
God damn.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I'm going to use this song to springboard to that one, right?
Yeah.
Because on this song, it talks about a lot of the toxic traits that we grew up with. So this whole album like hits me hard.
Yeah.
Because I say this all the time, man. Me, as being a 40-year-old man, I'm unlearning a lot of traits. You know, the toxic mentality of going to church and them denigrating you and looking down on you, and you having to accept that. But then looking at the other contradiction yourself, like a white woman can't say the N-word.
Yep.
So it's like, like, wait, all that introspective I did, like trying to come to grips and standing up for my transgender auntie, I can't understand when somebody else outside my culture says the N-word. It's like, but I was saying the F-word growing up.
That's how he ended the song, right?
Yes. Kendrick hits the nail on the head with that song. Because
think
it's about transgenders, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's really about contradictions within all of us.
Yes. And was that the same song where he talked about molestation?
No, that was the next to the last song, I want to say.
Okay.
Mother Sober. I need to get the track list. I think Sober Mother, I Sober Mother?
Mother, I Sober.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, because that's talking about trauma. And he has a line about R. Kelly, like, would R. Kelly have been as abusive as he was if he wasn't molested when he was a little boy? And they say that the people most likely to become molesters are people who were molested when they were young. Hurt people,
right?
Hurt people. And the fact that he drew like that, because everybody demonizes R. Kelly for what he did. He did some heinous shit.
As you should.
He should be punished.
Yes.
He should be punished. But just burning him at the stake isn't really addressing the bigger picture, where, understanding doesn't equal forgiveness. And understanding that somebody like him, they were abused and molested when they were young, that can help explain why he made the decisions he made when he was older and wealthy and powerful. It doesn't excuse it, but it helps us to understand that
stop the next R. Kelly.
Exactly, because there's a lot of people out there carrying trauma from childhood
Which
shit.
Was the theme of this album was trauma.
Yes,
like
the
trauma.
opening track.
Yes,
I've been going through some shit.
And you know what? A lot of people will probably look at the length of this album and have a problem with it. I actually, and I'm the type of person too,
no skips.
I would like look at the length of the album too and be like, man, this is too long. However, I had no problem with this one because every song legitimately had a intro that fit the song, that matched the song, that led the song in. Most of them had refrains, choruses, and breaks. And I'm not even a big fan of the break, but sonically, this album at parts sound like a poorly done Songs in the Key of Life, Stevie Wonder. Because melodically, it ain't a lot of slappers, but the way, even the songs with like less drums, the drums not present, the chord progressions and the songs are done so well that it's kind of forgiving. Like, you have tempo switches and changes in between the song that kind of keeps you entertained.
Classic Kendrick.
Yeah. Rich. And this is why, though. And look, as a drummer, I try to like relate rappers to like my drum rudiments and stuff like that. What makes Kendrick such a masterful rapper, in my opinion, is the way he can change his cadence, like at the drop of a dime, right? So he'll start a song, he may come in with a triplet cadence, like a southern da 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 da, just stop, yeah. Then all of a sudden, no, and you like, yo, it's almost like he's doing a 6-stroke roll then a parry and some flams in between it. It's like, yo, it's almost like listening to a damn good drummer catching pockets in between the beats.
You know, it's like how Rakim said he tried to imitate the trumpet.
Did he say that?
Yeah, it was on. I think it was the hip hop documentary on Netflix. He was talking about.
Should have watched that. I didn't watch that.
Fair enough. He tried to have his style represent like the trumpet, jazz trumpet, like the melodies and stuff.
Wow, okay.
So that's kind of how he got like his flow, was trying to match that, and the thing you said with Kendrick with the drums kind of was reminiscent of that.
It hits me hard when I listen to his cadence. I'm just like, man, this dude is giving a master class in how to catch a beat. But he can switch seamlessly between styles, between a West Coast style, a Southern style, and an East Coast style, and just mash it all together to the point you're like, damn, how did you do that? As somebody, myself, I rap with an unconventional voice that can be annoying. Kendrick has an unconventional voice.
Definitely.
It's very high, and it can be like perceived as annoying, but the way he strings together his
push away from me like,
like, yo, boy, the way he strings his cadence together,
yeah,
it makes it a masterclass, and like I can't do nothing but listen to it. Now, my favorite song on this, your favorite song, man, Father Time.
That song is deep.
Bro, like,
I got daddy issues, and that's on me.
Bro, I think our generation, like the millennials, people from 30 to 41 right now, once again, it's us unlearning a lot of things we were taught. But everything the man said in the song, I'm like, damn, bro, that was me. Like the whole, when you fall down, you better get back up. Like that was my dad. Like a lot of that was because of the social economic conditions in the hood and how the world was beating us up. Like you would even hear like black parents say, man, I'm going to beat you so the police won't do it. Like, because that was how we was raised. Like the world is going to beat you down, tear you up. So I got to tear you up first to get you ready for all this drama you're going to face out here. And let me just say this, man, like the whole absentee father in the hood thing is kind of overstated. Because in the hood I was from, I saw daddies all the time. Like, and I'll say this.
I think it's just a thing perpetuated by
it is
the man.
And I will say this. Sometimes having a father is not net positive. It's not. Like, it's not, because I grew up in the hood. And I'm like, yo, I don't know if having this daddy here was good for the family and the upkeep.
It's a bad
for everything.
example sometimes.
Bruh, I saw it, like, growing up. And that's what this song hit on, man. Like, the part he said, man, like, he just breaking my humidity for practice. I'm like, oh, man, yeah, that was it. Like, yo, you being too hard on him. Nah. Like, yo, life is a bitch. He needs to get it now. So it hit.
No, man, I agree with what you said. Like, you know, it's more of a topic recently, the impact that parents have on their children. And it's usually around like an absentee parent or a neglectful parent or something like that. But I like what you said about even if the parent is there, it doesn't mean all is well. And, you know, they also say that the same-sex parent has the biggest impact on some of the development of the child. Like the boy learns how to be a man from the father, the girl learns how to be a woman from the mother.
And I'm glad you brought that
generally
up, because he even hit on the other thing. Like, guys would join gangs and be gangsters to try to make up for like the father, like learning how to be a man but hiding under being gangster. And I'm like, yeah, that was a lot of like my homies. Like, yo, we did the gangster shit because we was trying to figure out how to be a man. Like, that was us. Like, yo, how are we gonna provide for our family? Well, hey, man, there goes some activity over here that can get us some money.
Yeah.
Maybe we're gonna do that activity. Oh, well, maybe some activity over here. How do we interact with women? And I'm glad he said this, man, because it kind of hits to the Kevin Samuel thing, which I'm not gonna get there. I'm not gonna go there.
Did he die?
He did die.
So that's true.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Hey, rest in peace.
God rest his soul. But it goes back to the Kevin Samuels, like, acolytes and the minions who follow him, because we tend to like romanticize the past. We always look at the past with fondness, even though that shit wasn't that great, man. There was a lot of toxic shit in the past that wasn't good for women and wasn't good for everybody. It wasn't good for the development of us. But because time is past, we look back on that fondly. Like the whole, oh man, you know what?
They used to wear hats and ties every day.
And men was really men back then. That's when we was protecting the women. And in actuality, it wasn't that great for everybody. And Kendrick hits on that, man. Like, yo, grown men with daddy issues, why don't we give the women a break? Like, seriously.
He said it.
Because, yo, it wasn't good for those women. The same thing with Kevin Samuels. Well, modern women have a problem with that. But if you ask a woman, they ain't going back to those times, bro. Like, they ain't trying to be their grandma or their moms. Like, yo, we got to find a new way to navigate this, which is another theme he hits on. Therapy. Like, yo, take your ass to therapy and get some shit worked out. Like, bro, this album was masterfully done. However, when I say this is like the best album ever, no, I think Damn is better than this. But, like, right under Damn, this album for me.
I would say in terms of emotional depth, this album blows Damn out of the water. Because this is very, like, he basically cuts himself open and just, this is exactly what I've been going through. And like you said, the image that we had, because he doesn't have a lot of stuff in the public eye. So the image we have is like Kendrick is like this humble, very methodical, well thought out guy who's not doing fuck shit. But in the album, he's talking about how he was doing some fuck shit. And there's the song he made with the dysfunctional relationship.
Yes, we cried together.
Yeah,
yes, we cried together.
And it's an audio representation of an extremely dysfunctional relationship. Toxic.
Which is, I ain't gonna say normal for the black community. It's normal for everybody. This is like a universal thing. Because I see like, some of my white friends and friends of other, like even my Japanese friends, in a super toxic relationship, man, on both sides. So yeah, that was something that's really, really.
And what I liked about that is it wasn't him explaining a toxic relationship. It was us witnessing a toxic relationship.
He is great at storytelling. Let's give him that, man. He's a great storyteller. Like, once again, probably why he won the Pulitzer. Fox News.
He's not just a rapper, you know. And I don't, because in Spotify I didn't say featuring who it was, so I don't know who the woman was.
Taylor Page.
Okay, there it is. Cool. Yeah, and she did her thing on that song.
She did.
And like it was very like, and I haven't experienced that kind of relationship myself, like to that level. But
you.
yeah. But I felt like I was just witnessing these two people, and then the twist at the end where they make up. But
that generally happens in a lot of toxic relationships.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like that's why I think it was so beautifully done, because you think like, oh my God, these people, they're at each other's throats, they're gonna break up, and then in the last like 20 seconds of the song, all of a sudden,
this is what they do.
They're gonna have makeup sex.
This is what they do. Oh, this is what they do.
This ain't nothing new.
We all know that friend who's in a toxic relationship, and they get to argue like, oh yeah, that's what they do. That's their thing. That's what they do. That is their get down and how they express love. Yeah, which is super toxic. Yeah, right. So yeah.
Hey, can we talk about the features? Because Kendrick never did many features on his album.
Sure, man. What you want to say about the features?
Ghostface?
Yo, Ghostface got off.
Man, like when I just heard the yo, and I was like, and the clouds parted and Ghostface
descended down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like matter from heaven. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Like I would say all the features were pretty solid. I didn't like Baby Keem so much.
What song was that?
I think it's Savior. However, I love Savior.
Oh, we just like listen like Future told you to get a money counter,
but
he is not your savior. Kendrick did something, but he is not your savior. Yeah,
made you give him his flowers.
That was fun. Give him his flowers.
Yeah, LeBron definitely out here making everybody give his flowers.
Hey, man, he deserves them, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. His
Let's go Mavericks.
Resume. Yeah.
But let me tell you what I don't like about this Kendrick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And just a minor critique. The album was masterfully done. The production is actually good, but the production falls flat for me in certain spots. You can tell all this production was done in the box. And if you don't know what I mean by that, let me explain. By in the box, I mean everything was done by computer VSTs and softwares. It seemed like a lot of live instrumentation wasn't really used except for like the bass riffs. Even the pianos, it sounded like that was kind of a VST plugins that they used, which they sound good, but for me, it made some of the sound flat, and also some of the drum loops were kind of generic to me, like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, yo, these are like drum loops anybody could find. You would did better like getting Anderson .Paak in the studio, like, yo, man, play me some riff. Now I know a lot of y'all gonna hit me with the, hey, DJ L-Spade, don't you do everything in the box? Yes, I do everything in the box because it is cost efficient and convenient. However, I would like to think Kendrick Lamar has a bigger budget than DJ L-Spade.
You asshole.
I would like to think that.
Question. What if that was just an artistic choice?
If it's an artistic choice, then I respect it, but it still fell flat to me. I feel like some of the production, because if you look on the production credits, it's like multiple producers working on a lot of these tracks, right? I think even what's the homie Alchemist did a track, right? Like the tracks on here are good. Like I really don't have a problem with none of the tracks. They lean on like a lot of reprises in here, you know, just basically pianos.
Yeah.
Especially for the interludes,
yeah.
which Kodak Black did a damn good job on that.
Surprise. I was surprised because I haven't heard much of his
y'all
music.
Shit on Kodak Black,
Well,
man.
I'm not shitting on
y'all
him.
as general public.
Because I haven't heard much of his music, and I've seen sometimes the way he represents himself. So
Yes.
my image of him was just he probably doesn't make the kind of music that would hit me on an intellectual
I listen
level.
to Kodak Black, right?
Yeah.
And here's what I will say about Kodak Black. Kodak Black, I liken him to like a Neil Young or a Bob Dylan. They can't really sing. Like Neil Young and Bob Dylan can't really sing, but it's something about them that like gravitates to.
Yeah.
And that's my thing with Kodak Black. Like, do I think Kodak Black is a good rapper? No, I do not. But the way he puts together his whack ass shit, it hits me. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
So this is actually on par with everything Kodak Black does. It's just how it was presented with a reprise, with just a piano solo, it hits differently because now you're hearing the same stuff he usually does over a piano. Which
I got a new respect for him.
genius. Which is genius. Like he definitely presented himself. He presented what he always does in a different way, which I can't do nothing but respect. But production-wise on this album, good, but I don't think it's fully realized. I think I'm always criticizing like rappers for putting stuff out too quick and being like, man, you should have let that cook. I feel like this album was overcooked. I feel like if this album would have came out during COVID, it would have been a classic because it's very introspective. But right now, the climate is everybody's looking for that outside music. So
You think so?
Bruh, everybody looking for the outside music.
Because I guess like you and I have different definitions of slappers. Like I had to actually learn what you think is a slapper through our arguments and
Yes.
disagreements. I've just you've never explained it specifically, but I've gathered a feeling for what constitutes as a slapper for you. Because I would say there are slappers on the song that I would listen to outside.
You ugly as fuck. I mean,
Just put it on the playlist, like if I'm driving, or even not all of those kinds of songs are like barbecue music or
Right.
social gathering songs.
Right.
But a social gathering song, I put less weight on whether it's danceable and more weight on the vibe. And it's an introspective album.
And this is what I was hoping his album was gonna be. I heard like rumors about his album. Some people said it was gonna be an experimental rock album, and I was like, if he does that, this shit doomed. Like, cause that never works good for the rapper. Like, yo, the experimental
Jay-Z
rock
did
album,
all right with Linkin Park.
That
Wasn't terrible.
that was not a rock album though. And plus, Linkin Park. All right, man, I ain't getting into that. But rest in peace, Chester. I would say a lot of rappers, if you're not of the genre, it's kind of like MGK. Like, bro, you can't just hop into punk and think you're gonna be good. It's like, yo, maybe you can have.
You went to punk?
Man, white folks do this all the time, bro. We talked
Did
about
Eminem chase him out the game?
you know what? Here's the thing, right? White folks always have this ability to be fluent between genres and
Genre fluid.
yeah. But when Lil Nas X does country, no, you can't be country. No, So it's kind of that weird thing. But you listen to country music now, all of them using like 808s in there. I was like, come on, dude. All
Where'd
you
you get that
purists.
from?
Yeah, all you purists, come on, get the fuck out of here. Overall, what you think about this album, bro?
Man, I loved it. And I would give it man, I would give it a 10, not because it's perfect. Because here's the thing. When you have a rating system, I think it's cooked in that perfection doesn't exist.
Yes.
So just because I give it a 10 out of 10 doesn't mean it's flawless. But my first impression of it as an artistic representation of all the things we discussed and the fact that it did so successfully and very well, I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Not gonna lie, so I'm gonna do the same review on the Secret House Against the World show with Mega and Jet, and I'm gonna give it the same rate I'm gonna give it now. It's an 8. Strong 8.
What did you give Drake's album?
I gave Drake's album a 7, I want to say.
So you think there's 1 point difference between Kendrick and Drake's album?
That 1 point means a lot, bro. Like, for me, to even get past 5 is a lot. I dead ass.
What's an example of a 9?
A 9? The allegory from Roaster 5'9" is a 9 for me. The allegory. That's a 9. The Marshall Mathers IP was a 9. Yeah, that was a 9. Not many albums get a 9 from me.
Would you give anybody a 10?
No.
Now, for you, does 10 mean like just perfection?
Yes.
Like, okay, so theoretically, nobody can get a 10 from you.
No.
All right.
I mean,
fair enough.
It may can happen.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Kendrick Lamar's album? We went long on this one.
This is a little bit long. We have to make some cuts.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna make this one a podcast. What do you think? What's your thoughts on the Kendrick Lamar album? Was it good? Is it a 10? Is it an 8? Is Drake's album better than this?
Sacrilege.
Man, you say Drake album better than this, unfriend me. Don't follow me, bro.
We might make a random show
dedicated to you.
Dedicated to dissing you
Yeah.
for being trash and having trash taste in music.
Yeah, man.